Podcast Evolved, your favorite Halo podcast. I am your host, Krysta, and this is our E3 episode. Yay!
Woo!
2019 E3!
E343!
That's David.
It is.
We have Aaron.
Hi, guys.
And we have Oran.
Hey, everyone.
And we're just gonna talk about E3 stuff, but first we're gonna talk about the relevant E3 stuff, and then we're gonna talk about the irrelevant E3 stuff. Like Animal Crossing.
The extra E3.
We're gonna go back a couple days or weeks ago, depending on when you're talking about this, to the Microsoft presser at the very end of this, hour and 45-minute presser.
Called it!
When Phil is like, we're gonna talk about Halo Infinite now. We're like, yay! Who wants to go over the trailer?
I just watched it, so I can go over the trailer if you want.
Then go over the trailer.
Trailer starts real quiet.
Yep.
There is a new man, a new face of Halo. We don't know this face. This face is weird. It's sitting in a cockpit. It looks cold. He's kind of a little bit kind of woozy. And there's alarms going off. It looks like he's kind of coming to a little bit. And then alarms start breaching. He quickly kind of reaches over, starts pushing some buttons and pushes a card in. And kind of stops it. Then another alarm goes off and it's a breach. And you see him running out of the cockpit, busting open some doors and reaching up onto above him where there's all gas coming out and stuff like that. Looks kind of something's broken in his ship. And he manages to kind of at the last second close the breach somehow, and he falls down and collapses on the ground. And out of a little disc on the ground starts flashing, and a message starts playing, and it gets real deep real fast. It's a message to what is clearly, you'd assume, the pilot's wife, talking to the pilot's kid, who is a very young child, and asking them to say a couple of things, and, say, we miss you, Daddy, all this kind of stuff. It gets very emotional. And then the camera kind of pans around to the pilot as he's sitting up off the ground, and he's clearly aged. He's got a bigger beard, rougher hair, his suit's kind of a little bit more worn. So obviously some significant time has passed while he's still in this, which we later find out is a pelican. And then he's watching the message. You get the impression he's probably watched it many a times. It's the same kind of vibe you've probably gotten before and other things, where obviously there's a person in space on a ship and their oxygen's running low and they're obviously just waiting out the last of their time. That's the very impression I got as well watching this. I think Tony Stark and Avengers kind of in-game, that kind of stuff. Then I would say there's a couple of months probably passed. Maybe a couple of weeks. Maybe months is a bit harsh. But a lot of weeks he's got a big old beard.
Can we talk about how magnificent his beard is some more?
Glorious.
It went from no beard to a very beard.
So happy that the Slipspace engine is beard capable.
The Slipspace engine can do beards, guys.
Can do beards. It's got fresh effects. It's got all the Lara Croft amazingness, except on beard form. So I'm pretty happy about that. Then we have another warning, but this time it's friendly signal detected, and the pelican's kind of screeching at him. He's very slow to react. You can imagine he's just probably not used to this happening. This isn't something that he's expected to happen. He gets kind of flustered. He runs up to the cockpit and he goes, "This is Pelican Echo 216 or something like that." And it says, "Please respond. Pelican Echo 216, please respond." And they're not responding, so he kind of wipes the window. And in there you get the amazing reveal of Chief floating in space.
Oh, it's so good.
There's debris around. So you get the first look of Chief looking crazy. He immediately, obviously, kind of cuts to the pilot has brought Chief on board somehow.
How did he do that?
I don't know how he did it. We all know kind of how Pelicans work, so I don't know how he did this.
He has an airlock.
Probably sealed off the cockpit, opened up.
There's an airlock. The doors that he comes in and out, there's two sets of them if you look carefully on that Pelican. There's an airlock between the troop bay and the cabin, so it's a weird Pelican we've never seen before.
That's true. It's just, some kind of variant. There's a really, really, really satisfying moment of when he unhooks Chief from the crane and he drops onto the floor of the Pelican.
Boom.
And he's so loud. You get he's so heavy. You get a real sense of weight there of the power armor. And it looks amazing. It's an amazing looking power armor.
He's very thick.
Yes, he's solid.
He's a big boy. But we don't want any skinny Spartans. We want some nice thick Spartans.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Swole.
The pilot immediately recognizes this as Master Chief and refers to him as such. So he refers to him as Chief. And the shorthand that you get is almost familiar. So there's an element there to it. The pilot has said, "Okay, you're armor is kind of dead. I'm going to try and reboot you. You're in survival mode. So he's going to try and override that by plugging you into
Also,
the Pelican's power
he's using
supply.
the last of his power to do that. He kind of just mentions it it's a really throwaway line, but...
So he plugs him in, Chief boots up, you get the very satisfying sound of his shield coming back online.
And apparently people have been looking for hidden messages in that boot up sequence, because there's a bunch of numbers and stuff like that. I think there was an Xbox code or something someone found.
There's a load of Game Pass codes in it.
That's ridiculous and amazing.
That's so cool.
I'm not even surprised.
No.
I love that they put stuff in there because I know people will go to that level of detail of looking into that code. You get he says the one line that is clearly, and it is confirmed later on, this is clearly the startup sequence to the game. He says, oh, there's a problem with your servos to your hands. Chief looks at his hands and kind of moves them a little bit. Before I say what happens next, that's clearly the sequence of, okay, you're going to look up, look down, look left, look right.
Would you like to invert your controls?
Yeah, and you always hit no.
Yes is the answer.
No.
That is I hope he spits at you when you invert your controls. He's just like, disgusting. Puh.
I hope you do that and like the armor collapses in on itself and you just game over.
The armor
You
locks.
just die.
Chief can't do it. Yeah, you just dead.
Your armor relocks and he just pushes you back out the airlock. Just says, I don't want you. I don't want to hang out with you. No inverted controls ever.
We could invert the X-axis. We could be real mutants.
That's horrendous.
Why would you do such a thing?
That seems like a terrible skull they'll put into Halo one day. What happens is Chief opens up his right hand and in it he has the chip that the AI is contained in. He immediately puts this into his head and the message pops up, weapon attachment thing inserted. So I don't know why it's called a weapon attachment, but anyway.
It's like
says,
weapon
like, no AI
containment
detected
device,
either.
I think it says.
Yeah, weapon containment device. So I think it's interesting to clear that the AI is supposed to be considered a weapon as part of the arsenal, which is pretty cool.
Could that chip be something to contain Cortana in to like capture her?
That's an interesting thing. Yeah, that's absolutely possible.
I don't know. I kind of assume Cortana's not like one place anymore. She's in the domain.
Yeah, we don't really, but she still has a thing, I imagine. There's one. It doesn't matter.
He also could be looking for just other rogue AIs to capture.
Well, the other thing to point out, I know we're diving into stuff, but it's not Cortana's serial number. It's a different CTN serial number.
It's not even a CTN serial number. It's just it says verification ID, which isn't a CTN number.
But on the actual chip itself, when you look at it in his hand, it's engraved with a CTN number that's just not Cortana's.
Are you sure? There doesn't seem to be anything on it.
No, I noticed it too. I mean, I don't know. I don't have my magnifying glass on.
I'm looking at it right now, but I can't
Right
see any
now,
numbers on it.
yeah, there's numbers.
Shout out to Ian over at Halo Canon because he had like a breakdown of some of this stuff, so I don't know whether he did
Okay.
4K zoomy goodness, but you can see the serial number like clearly on it when you zoom in.
He plugs it in so that there's no AI there to be expected. And the chief kind of moves forward and asks for a status report. And the pilot is very confused and says, like, status report? Also to know the pilot is really happy that Chief is alive because he's like, we're going to go home. But you get the idea that the pilot has been stranded on here and now he believes Chief will get him out. Chief is looking for a status report, so you get the sense of a large period of time has passed that Chief is unaware of. The pilot says, you have to see this. And he looks up the front and it's a halo that is partly, like a small portion of it has been destroyed. It kind of looks functional. It
Looks like it's repairing itself as well.
Yeah, that's the impression I got. It's something that's either being repaired or...
It has like a force field holding it together, so it clearly like wasn't taken by surprise like the first Halo.
Yeah, so this could essentially be... And the pilot says, there's nothing for us here, we've lost. So there was obviously a big battle here, which humanity lost, and we don't know against who yet. And then the pilot's like, there's nothing for us here. And he says something about, I don't even know where here is, which is an interesting thing to say. So obviously there's a significant chunk of time in between where Halo 5 ended and where this game picks up story-wise.
Yeah, apparently it's a couple of years, which is nice because, as we all know, this is kind of a soft reboot, so it gives them plenty of time to write around whatever's happening.
Yeah, it's got to be at least 2 years because, like we were talking about that boot-up sequence at the start, it says that the armor was last modified by Halsey in 2561, so it's got to be at least 2561.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. That's
because
cool piece of knowledge
there's
to know.
information there that he's running like I think it says he's running like a beta of the Mjolnir software that was last modified by Halsey.
That's cool.
We know that Halsey's still up and kicking then.
That's a good sign. Yeah, they'll never get rid of Halsey. She's amazing. Essentially then, right after that, it looks like something external happens to the Pelican. It loses power. It comes all electrified. There's a weird sheen outside the front window. It kind of looks like a force field. Then Yaman, the pilot, seems to know what's happening. Goes, "Oh my god, Chief, we have to run." I don't know how he expects to do that, but essentially he says how to run. Chief has an amazing one-line and says, "No, we fight." And he picks up an AR, which looks like an AR from Reach. It has the kind of weird, modified kind of side to it. It looks cool. It's an AR from Reach anyway. He throws that on his back, turns around and walks towards the end of the Pelican. He puts the pilot in the cockpit, and I think he closes the door because it looks like he opens up the other end. And then all the debris and stuff like boxes and stuff fly out. So it's obviously like into a vacuum. And then Chief kind of walks forward into the light, which is kind of amazing. And then they kind of, you imagine that's where the intro ends, but they added in a little bit of a thing at the end. So it looks like it's a load of blue. What we stand as I'm going to call the Cortana blue color is kind of swirling around in this kind of room. It looks like a control room.
It's like the control room from Halo 1. It looks exactly like it.
It does look very similar to that. It doesn't have all the screens and looks kind of a smaller scale. It has a map of the ring, the semi-destroyed ring, so you know it's on that location. There's a few other kind of pieces of the star map kind of hanging around, and Chief is walking forward with an AR on his back. He pulls the chip out of his head as he approaches, and you hear Cortana speak about essentially it's about like, I know we were a good fit together, and I was right, or something like that, along those lines of her talking to Chief. Then it kind of goes to black.
Oh, I know, like, immediately after this, so many people were bitching that we didn't get gameplay.
Yeah.
That was all over Twitter. Everyone was bitching about it. Like, oh, we wanted gameplay. It's like, yeah, I would have wanted gameplay too, but we got a release date.
Well, no, we got Holiday 2020.
Holiday 2020.
Yeah, like, but because they've confirmed like it's a launch game for the Scarlet, I think we had to assume then they wouldn't give us any gameplay because it's too far out.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We didn't know that going in. So going in, I really thought that we were going to get that this was the E3 that reveals the game to us, and it doesn't look like it is. It's going to be next year. So next year's E3 is going to be Halo Infinite's E3, which is something to look forward to, I guess. My immediate trailer reaction was I was like so confused about what I was looking at, what the hell was going on, because I was going in with my brain going, okay, it's a reboot, and I really hated that and that idea and the way, like, you know, Bonnie and Kiki have been like very loose about like rewriting history and changing dates and doing stuff like that, and then all of a sudden we're getting a trailer which looks like Cortana is gone, but is it after Halo 3? You're getting super Halo 3 vibes in the music and the art and the way it looks. You're getting, okay, you're going back to get Cortana, you're going back to a control room, it looks kind of crazy. What the hell's going on? You're trapped in space. Trying to think about all the times we've seen Chief floating in space. That was kind of at the end of Halo 4. We saw that too. So I was like, oh my god, where is this game taking place? What the hell is happening? Did they just retcon delete 5? I don't know. I was freaking out.
Which they didn't. They announced that they did not retcon 5.
I never thought about any of these things. I just assumed it was next. I have to say, the thing is, it took me a while to figure out that it was a Halo trailer, and I like that both trailers now, they've done the same thing, where the same with the last trailer, where they're like doing the nature shots. It wasn't until he got up out of the seat and sort of started to run, but that first initial thing, I was looking at it going like, is this a Halo trailer? I know they said it's a Halo trailer, but this doesn't look like a Halo trailer.
I felt the same way.
There's a lot of detail in it.
There's a great tone, and also it's called Deliver Hope, which I think is kind of interesting because one of their other great trailers was called it's Discover Hope. The previous one was
this
Deliver
one's
Hope.
Discover Hope, and the other one was Deliver Hope, because I got that confused a few times.
Yeah.
I kept wondering why I was typing Deliver Hope into Google and getting Noble Team. I was a little confused.
Discovery is a big kind of theme of Halo Infinite. You see all this Outpost Discovery, and you have a trailer called Discover Hope, and you're getting a big ass Halo in front of you. So I don't know, you're getting really different tones to the type of game we're going to get. I
really like how story driven these trailers have been. Well, I mean, the first one wasn't super story. Well, the first one did kind of tell a story about like a landscape, and I like this a lot. I like how it's not centering around shooty shooty bang bang like some of the previous lead ups to games have been. I'm liking the mood. I'm really liking it. I would love something more story driven. A+.
Yeah, I like that too.
Aaron?
Right, do we want to get a little nerdy with a couple of things? Because I know on one of the Halo Canon videos I watched, they pointed out a few things that I had missed at the time, but on repeat viewing, they kind of stand out, but I didn't realise. So the first one is when, and okay, I don't think anyone agreed we were going to refer to him as this, but I'm referring to him because it's going to stick.
No.
The pilot is called Brohammer until someone tells me otherwise.
No, he isn't.
That is Brohammer
He's Beard
because
Man.
he is the male foe hammer. He is Brohammer. Enjoy that. Halo memes on Facebook is the first place I saw him referred to as Brohammer, and I'm just disgusted that it's stuck in my head. But when he gets up and he moves, you can see on the shoulder pad of his jumpsuit, he's got a Covenant War era UNSC insignia, not the post-Covenant War UNSC insignia that we have in Halo 4 and 5.
Interesting.
So it's an older jumpsuit, which kind of fits with the older assault rifle. So I know some people have been talking theories about has the war with the created but not been going too well, and we're now down to scavenging old equipment.
That'd be cool.
Kind of like the insurrectionists.
That's kind of the vibe I got at the end of Halo 5. I like the idea of that, especially if it's humanity scavenging, because maybe it's Infinity is scavenging, because it's kind of like, I like the idea of this, maybe it's a very Battlestar Galactica where you've got this one big ship on the run, constantly on the move,
Yes.
and it's your base of operations for like, and then you have to kind of scavenge as you go through, which would be cool. And that's well spotted if people notice that kind of stuff.
Well, and scavenging has been a huge new theme in the novels as well.
That's actually that's good. That's well spoken. Oren, you've been very quiet.
I'm listening to the details and stuff that kind of Aaron is bringing about, but I mean, I have my own like theories and stuff to like how this story and the setting and stuff would take place. I mean, my overall reaction to the trailer is just that, like, it just, I mean, I just liked it, I guess. Like, I wasn't overhyped, but it got me hyped. I mean, I would say I'm more in the line of, well, actually, I mean, I knew I kind of figured it would be a Halo trailer the whole time. I mean, I was waiting for Chief, like, where's my Chief? Where's Chief the whole time? But at the same time, I was like, okay, well, like, you know, let's find out who this character is, since they're showing me who this is and with his family and all this kind of stuff. And kind of, so I was just kind of just there for the ride, so to speak. And then, you know, all the music cues and the sound cues of the shield booting up, like, you know, that just has such a spot that it hits because of the just classicalness of it. Like that's just, those are the things that really define Halo, is like that music sort of rift, and then like the shield sounds, and then like just his armor. It's just like, man, that's the armor that like I grew up with. So it's like hitting all these great notes and all that, and it's just getting, you know, me and all the other fans excited. You know, yes, I was part of the crowd that was disappointed there was no gameplay, but I'm also kind of just disappointed there really wasn't gameplay really at all in E3. That's a different sort of thing that we'll get into later. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, this game is 18 months away, so we just have to wait. It's just one of those things. Everything so far, though, is what I want to see, that we have seen. So, but I mean, we can kind of get into like predictions if we want in a little bit. But judging from how Kiki and Bonnie have talked in the past about, especially about the trailer from last year, on how it's a thematic reboot, I think is what they said. Like, it's not necessarily
spiritual,
like,
I think.
did they say spiritual?
Yeah, it's in the posts as well. It's in the Waypoint blog post.
Because it's like, it's not rebooting anything, but they said they really wanted to capture what was in the first 3 games, and like even Frankie's said about this, that like the first game was able to throw you into a conflict you knew nothing about, and it worked pretty well. And that's what they want to do in this one, to where you don't know what the conflict is, but they're just going to throw you into it, which we've already seen in this, basically the opening cinematic of the trailer. You know, something happened on Halo 7, and we're there to find out what happens and to figure it out, and somehow Cortana and the creator are all connected because of what happened in Halo 5 and Halo Wars 2. So
I can read you a little paragraph of what they say. So they've said, in the pursuit of our spiritual reboot, they say in quotes, and the launch of a new console, we also want to make sure this is a perfect starting point for new players too. This story will mark a beginning of a new chapter and challenge for the Chief, but will also respect and continue the threads that led to this point, which is what makes me happy. If you ever never played a Halo game before, this will be a great place to jump in. If you're arriving in the middle of a universe at war with a sense of history underlying your entry into the world, it also feels fresh, full of potential and new adventure. We will weave in context and guideposts to understand your place in a new universe. But if you've invested in Halo for all these years, you'll feel immediately at home, and some of our story moments will spark different resonance for your investment.
Yeah, and I feel like from the design of his armor to the music cues to the sound cues, like if you're a Halo fan from, dare I say, Bungie era, and like even from what 343's done in Halo 4, like yeah, this is going to be they're really pushing to make this like a game for the fans and just really take what has happened with Halo 5 into heart to how they're approaching this game. And so it's great. It's awesome. I love it.
Do we think that they're holding so much information like close to the chest just because of how Halo 5's like marketing campaign was received?
Yeah, I think we're going to see something very different in how Halo was marketed this time around.
Aaron, did you have more of the stuff?
I've got more nerdy stuff if you want, but on the marketing thing, I think the only reason we're not seeing a lot is just because we're so far out. I think next E3 we'll get like nice juicy details. I think it's just a case of they don't want to show us stuff before it's finished. I think that's why we haven't seen like the outside of the Pelican. They don't want to show us that yet because they've maybe haven't like finalized the design, and apart from having Chief and a few things, they're just like giving us the bare minimum.
Well, and we also got to remember that we don't know how far along Project Scarlet is at this point. They're obviously keeping a lot of stuff very close to their chest regarding Project Scarlet as well, because we don't even know what the box looks like at this point.
That was going to be my kind of note, and I think that's kind of explains the lack of gameplay, is that, I mean, we saw a little bit of in-game engine, but it was, that it's safe to say that could have been pre-rendered because it's the opening cinematic, or just the opening, like, you looking around, like that does kind of match to what the gameplay will look like, but yeah, I don't think they want to show too much too soon in regards to Scarlet, just because they don't want that to become the perception of the hardware when it could be more, or it's that classic like not actual representation of final product sort of a thing that you always see in the bottom corner of certain videos. And so I feel like because it's with the launch of a new console, and even how Phil has kind of discussed on how they're saying stuff closer to their chest, because they want to make sure when they say things it's what it's going to be, so he doesn't have to backpedal and change, and then it kind of makes the brand look inconsistent or anything like that, like
the last console.
So I think that kind of is a shared sort of causality of the two, but yeah, I think just in a general sense 343 is probably just slowing down how they're marketing this, because they know, what happened with kind of how Halo 5 was perceived after that sort of marketing campaign, which was actually a pretty good marketing campaign if you look at it from just that point of view. But yeah, I think come next year, like, we'll probably have a book or two that kind of bridges between Infinite and 5, and that's when the marketing machine will kind of pick up, leading up to E3. And then going out of it. We also have the Halo TV show, which, will probably come out next year if they're still filming it this fall, and kind of see how that plays, even though it's supposed to be Covenant era. But anyway, the point is that, like, next year they'll have their extended media to help support the launch and get people excited. And then as we learn more about Scarlet, we'll see more about Infinite and kind of how they go together, as well as, all the other games.
I feel like Scarlet and Infinite are going to be indistinguishable. I feel like everything they show on Scarlet's probably going to be Halo Infinite.
Yeah, one is going to be used to sell the other, I think, is really what we're the impression I'm getting.
Especially with how they introduced it, which just makes... It made so much sense, like, the way I even thought about it. I was like, how are they going to show Halo before they talk about the new console? And I was expecting them to kind of show more than just Halo of kind of what's to come, but to kind of only show Halo just really shows not only Microsoft's and Xbox's, like, dedication for the franchise, but just how much care 343 is putting into this after 5.
Do we want to move on to just Project Scarlet since we're talking about it?
Aaron has a few more
you have some tips and tricks, right?
There's a couple of last wee bits. During the boot up sequence, they also confirmed that this is the first Gen 3 Spartan Mjolnir armor. This is brand spanking new. This isn't any of the previous suits.
It's a new armor, or it's new? It's a new old armor, or is it brand new type of armor?
It's a new generation of new armor altogether. So you have the Gen 1 armor, which runs up to the Mark 7, which I believe is... I think the Mark 7 Gen 1 might actually be what Naomi has in Kilo 5. Then the Gen 2 armor was made kind of for the Spartan 2s. And then I think it supplements Gen 1 armor as well. So Spartan 2s have Gen 1 usually. Spartan 4s have Gen 2, and then this is now Gen 3.
Yay!
And so, and how is that confirmed? Just because of the boot up sequence?
In the boot up sequence, it confirms that it has a couple of dates, and it gives the manufacture date by the materials group as 2559 as the date created, and then I think it gives the date it was last modified by Dr. Halsey as 2561. This suit was put into production just at the tail end of Halo 5, or around, well, Halo 5 was 2558, wasn't it? So this was actually put into production after, because Bad Blood takes place in 2559. Or it's all 2559, isn't it? Because Bad Blood's at the very end of it. Anyway, this suit was put together at the end, so this is like a brand new generation of Spartan armor.
Yay!
For anyone wondering why Chief doesn't look the same as he did in 5, that's why. New suit, a couple of years later. We have that. There are a few other little bits.
What about the nanobots, though?
Yeah, I just wanted to... The reason I asked was just because it was... Alright, I saw some theories where it was like he had to put on old armor for some reason, because it even looks like some of the... Like that giant gash that he had on his chest, like I thought was similar to a gash that he had from Halo 3, but...
I know people were theorizing that they're going old school tech so that the created can't hack them, but like, to be fair, the majority of the equipment they had was AI friendly, because like it would only be a couple of decades old, and they still had AIs then anyway. There is actually a section, I think, where it says in it that it has new anti-intrusion software to prevent AI access.
Yeah, it would have to, because you imagine there's a lot of anti-AI, which we were kind of getting in some of the books too.
Yes, I'd imagine they've learned a lot from like Last Light, where Fred gets hacked.
And Tripid Eye.
Stuff like that's probably come into it. It's a new suit anyway. I'm kind of hoping, I know I don't like nanobots, but I'm hoping maybe if they go down the road of this is a new suit with nanobots, that they might let us have some like Chief customization. That's one of my like secret hopes. Because the other thing is, if it's an in-engine cutscene, Reach was in-engine, which meant that every time you had a cutscene with Noble 6, he looked like your Noble 6. A part of me just wants to have Frankenchief in every cutscene.
No, I disagree.
It's a small whim, but I wouldn't mind on subsequent playthroughs. I think the only other thing then is, yes, it confirms as well that this is in Zeta Halo, because when he checks the radar on the Pelican for the friendly, it says something like Zeta area or Zeta, so it's in like orbit of Zeta Halo. There's like a thing on the bottom of the display when it's pinging Chief on the friendly, because you can also see S117 on the radar before he wipes the frost off the window.
Ah, cool. Okay.
Confirms that too, but that's about it. I don't think we can pull... I've watched a lot of videos and listened to a lot of people talk. I don't think they can pull much else out of it. I don't put much stock in the theory of it's old tech so it can't be hacked. I think it's just old tech because that's what we're down to now.
It's new tech that can't be hacked.
Yeah, new tech
that can't be hacked, but I do think that's why he's like using the Reach AR and stuff. I think we're just like scraping up the supplies. Like David said, I want Battlestar Infinity. It's the story I like the idea of, is just we're like scavenging and we're using whatever we have. Oh, the only other thing I saw some people wonder about was, I don't know if it makes a total fit, but some people were wondering, was the pilot Luther Mann from Hunters in the Dark?
Yeah.
What they have confirmed is that the pilot is a new character. So it is not anything from the extended lore.
Yeah, and I bet you he follows you throughout the story as your pilot, flying you around the Halo.
I would love that idea.
He's your Red Dead horse. You're going to get attached to him, and then at the end, they're going to kill him. I can already feel this.
No, they're not.
Spoiler.
He's gonna fly us around into Halo Infinite too.
No, you're going to finish missions. You're going to get into your Pelican. You're going to brush your pilot down to keep him clean. You're going to feed him some sugar cubes. You're going to tell him he's a nice boy. And then at some point, they're going to kill him. and they're going to make us all feel terrible.
And then you're going to trade him out for a better horse later on, right?
I never traded my horse out.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
That's because you got the pre-order bonus.
My horse was there with me to the end. He was amazing. Or she. It was a she the first time.
The last thing before we move off Halo, Phil Spencer on the Giant Bomb interview, at the very, very end, Jeff asked him, how is this game going to work? How is it going to be purchasing? You said it's multiple generation, multiple console. Phil found that kind of difficult to answer, but pretty much said you should expect to buy this game once and it'll run on everything. So I imagine that's what the new generation will be like.
That's what Scarlet's going to be.
Yeah, you'll buy a Scarlet game and it will be run on your Xbox, on your Xbox One, on your Xbox One S, on your X, and on your Scarlet.
Well, and also, like, all of your accessories for Xbox One X or Xbox One are compatible with Scarlet. All of your controllers and everything.
But I just think that's the first time that they've said the next gen game will be playable down the line, not just forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be playing a Scarlet game on your Xbox One X or on your Xbox One S.
I think he also kind of made it sound like it wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, he said, like, that's what he wanted.
Basically said, look at our track record, that's what we're going to try to do. But I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox One games got basically the same treatment as 360 games, where certain Xbox One games just don't transfer over into Scarlet. So I don't think it's going to be not to say I don't think it's going to be, but I don't think it's safe to assume that if you have an Xbox One game, it will play on Scarlet until they say which games that it is. And then I feel like instead of two different versions for two different consoles like last gen, it's just going to be up to the developer and say, hey, do you want this game to be a Scarlet game, or do you want this to be an Xbox One /Scarlet game? And I feel like a lot of Microsoft's first party that I guess launched in 2020 will be more or less both, but then you'll see the switch, because I can't see games for the Scarlet run on the Xbox One X, because it's like, why have a new console if that's the case?
It's going to be like, it's like PC, Oran. All PC games are PC games, but each PC is different than all the other PCs. Some are better, some are not better.
I guess, but I think there is a line though. But like, I do see that all Xbox One games, or a large majority of them, can basically are emulated onto the thing. Because what Phil wants to respect the investment that we've had. I mean, if we're investing in Game Pass Ultimate for, you know, the next 3 years for all these freaking games that we're playing, then to just leave them behind just doesn't make any sense.
I think for like the first year, you might find they'll make games that'll work on both, and then there'll just be a cutoff point where, like iPhones, where there's a certain point where they'll go, oh, games no longer support S and X models. Because the thing is, if you cut support for the S, there's no real point. All the X does is make a game look nicer. It can't run it. It can't do like CPU and processing stuff any better than the S can. It just makes them look better. So I think in like a year's time after the Scarlet comes out, they'll like say, you know, new games launching won't support the older hardware anymore, and they'll just have like a cutoff point, the same way iPhones do every year, where you get like a new iOS and then they like drop a couple of older iPhones. That's my guess. I think for the beginning, like for that first year, I think Halo Infinite and a few others will like straddle the line.
Yeah, like I can see like Motorsport 8 being both, and then Halo, and then whatever other first party game.
But I'd imagine if you play Infinite on an S, I'd imagine you're not going to get the best experience by far, which is why I think I'll have to save up for a Scarlet.
Yes!
That's my other point. I don't want a new console.
I bought my X like last year because I knew like if I waited any longer, then I wouldn't want to buy one because of Scarlet. I think Microsoft needs to do more with trade-ins, to where you can trade in your X for like 200 credit towards the, you know, $499 or $449 Scarlet.
That's absolutely something I want to do.
You know, or maybe
Yeah.
200 might be a lot, but like, you know, $150. Like if you're doing that, then it's just more affordable. You're staying in the ecosystem, and it's just like buying a phone. I just bought the next iPhone or whatever and got like $300 off because I traded in my old iPhone. And it's just what it's like. I feel like with that business model, it makes it more affordable. And then now that you know that it's out, just start saving now. Like, save $20 each month.
I need that model for the Elite controller because I want to get the new Elite in November because I'm a terrible person and I need new things.
I did not want to buy the Elite controller because I didn't want to pigeonhole myself, but it's gonna take a lot to talk myself out of not buying the Series 2.
Oran, I'm going to give you something that'll tell you not to buy the Series 2. If you're getting Scarlet, it's going to come with a controller.
Yeah, but I could, you know what I could do? I could keep that controller. I have my Halo 5 Master Chief and Locke controllers, and then I'll just sell my 4th controller and get a Elite.
Also, don't forget, chances are they're going to do Halo Infinite Scarlet because how's that not going to happen?
But why would I buy Infinite when I have Game Pass?
That was not announced to be on Game Pass.
No, it is. It totally is.
Also, Infinite's going to be on Game Pass.
I bet you my Xbox Scarlet that it's going to launch on Game Pass.
All first-party games will be on Game Pass, but I want a nice, like, Master Chief green Xbox Scarlet.
Oh, you mean a themed console? Okay, I thought you meant like the game.
Yeah.
No, if they have a Scarlet and a Elite controller bundle, sign me up.
I feel the same way. I'm gonna, I really want the Series 2, and now that I know that it's compatible with the Scarlet, that's definitely a tipping point for me, but I'm gonna wait and see what exactly the Scarlet is and what its controllers look like. Or, like Warren said, a bundle with a Elite controller version 2 and a Scarlet would be wonderful. I'd be very happy. Or just a Master Chief themed Elite controller. That would be nice, because that doesn't exist right now.
God damn it, they better not.
They have a Master Chief regular controller.
Yeah, which I have and love.
Too soon to tell. Alright, so is there any final thoughts about Infinite or Scarlet? Load times, they're a thing, if you didn't know.
Load times are a thing, and they are apparently going away?
No, they're not. There's no way.
That's what they keep saying,
load times they're not gonna go away.
I like the lady who called out Mass Effect, though.
Yeah.
Blatantly called out Mass Effect on its elevator bullshit.
Well, my favorite no load times thing was back in the Tony Hawk era. It was like Tony Hawk Underground 2 or something, or Tony Hawk Wastelands, where it was no load times, but all you did was sit in a bus, and you were just sitting on a bus traveling from one skate park to the next, and it's oh yeah, this is clearly a loading screen. You're just sitting on a bus not doing anything for 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, and honestly, load times have developers have become really smart in just disguising load times. I recently finished 2018 God of War. And when you fast traveled, your load time was literally traveling between these two interdimensional doors to get to your next area.
Yeah, but it was.
And the characters would talk and they'd tell stories during this time. But it was an obvious loading screen. But it was entertaining. It didn't feel like I was just sitting there waiting, doing nothing.
But it's just, but it's also just one of those things where it's the bigger these games get, I don't know how to explain it, but just think of a graph. Even though the games are getting better, or the hardware is getting better to where we can render stuff more quickly, but then we make bigger games to where there's more stuff to render, so then it goes back on itself. Maybe there's going to be no load times for Xbox One games that are played on the Scarlet, but there'll still be load times on Scarlet.
Well, guys, we're getting a solid state drive that's going to make everything better.
Apparently the solid state drive is like a god. And it's going to fix everything.
I wonder if Digital Foundry has a video about... They have really good hardware videos.
We're probably not going to get anything more on the Xbox Scarlet until next year. Because they're probably going to do what they did last cycle, where they have, a separate conference just for a console reveal, and then they're going to go to E3.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, so then that way they can talk about everything that they need to talk about, and then at E3 2020... It's about all the games, and not TV.
I hope they talk about TV capabilities.
Yeah, did you like Phil's thing to get a box that is optimized to do one thing and one thing only?
Yeah.
Play games?
Yeah, for gaming.
I really hope that they keep the TV integration that we have, because I use that a lot.
You might see that going away.
No, well, they said all hardware will be supported, so my TV is through a USB adapter, so I'm kind of hoping, I hope they keep that, because otherwise I'd have to keep my 1S hooked up to my system because it's so nice to just come in and like hit one button and have the Xbox do everything. Like I
Fair
really
enough.
would miss that.
I just don't have TV, so like
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have TV.
I don't have a cable box. I have internet and Netflix and Hulu.
See, I don't watch a lot of TV, but still, like, it does all that. Like, I just hope it doesn't do away. We have over-the-air free TV here, so sometimes I watch it. I wouldn't like it to leave, is my
I
only
think that's
thing.
reasonable.
Yeah. Alright, so that was the Xbox Scarlet and Halo Infinite combo. Woo, 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 woo.
Wombo combo.
Combo.
Now for the Mortal Kombat 11 podcast.
Woo! So we're just going to talk about general E3 stuff now. So we're going to start with the Microsoft conference and just go through the games that were said there. And if we have something interesting to say about them, we're just gonna say stuff. We're just gonna say it. We're just gonna say exactly what we're thinking, guys. Anyway, so Microsoft opened with the Outer Worlds.
Pass.
And that's gonna
Yay.
be on Game Pass at launch, which is crazy.
This E3, this Microsoft press conference was pretty much the biggest advertisement for Game Pass.
It really was.
It's totally sold me, though.
Look at us. I have Ultimate now. Krysta has Ultimate now. Aaron has Ultimate now.
Aaron has Ultimate now.
David,
I'm resisting.
think about it this way. Why buy games anymore when you could just have Ultimate?
David, do you go out and buy DVDs at all? Do you ever go to the store and just buy a bunch of DVDs? How do you watch movies?
The cinema.
Netflix and stuff? Maybe Hulu?
I don't pay for those things.
Maybe Amazon Prime a little bit?
Your family pays for those things and you get their passwords and their emails.
They're stupid.
Come to the 21st century, David.
Oh, man, I don't want to be paying a monthly fee to play video games.
But if you play 3 AAA titles in that year, it pays for itself. And one of those is Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
And the other one is Battletoads.
Oh, you see, yeah, god damn.
Well, think of it like this. You can pay $60... Right now, there's a sale going on. You can pay $60, the cost of the Outer Worlds, and just get the Outer Worlds when it comes out, but also be able to play everything else in the next year.
Or what? $60 that gets you 4 months.
No, if with the deal that's going on, you get the $60 year, and then you upgrade for $61. I'm sorry.
You have 2 years to figure out what to do when your thing does auto renew. You can cancel it and then redo
Technically,
it.
yeah.
There's so many games, man. I mean, I already have so many games. I have
Think
so
of all the
many.
Chivos, though.
See, that's the thing, Krista. That's off-putting to me, the fact that this would unlock the potential for almost infinite
I
achievements.
straight up thought about, so I'm gonna say this idea just because I'm not gonna be able to do it, but I thought about making a Mixer channel just called like Games on Game Pass or something like that, and all I would do is just play all of those games and just stream them. Be like, all right, guys, I'm gonna play this game. Let's see what it's all about. Just because I could, because I have the membership to do it. And I'm like, dude, why doesn't anyone do that? You could totally make a channel about that, and people could check out what's on Game Pass, and they're like, you know what, Oran, that is a pretty cool game. I'm gonna go download it, and I'm gonna go get X Game Pass. So someone out there that's listening should go do that, because I think that's a great idea, and it's literally just free content for your Twitch/Mixer channel.
And there's a lot of really nice indie games that probably not a lot of people know about, so you can kind of introduce them. Because I was like, I downloaded Game Pass, and I downloaded the first game that was on the list, which was Abzu.
Absu's amazing.
That's a fun
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so amazing. It's so pretty.
Yeah, I just started a game today called Wizards of Legend. It's a roguelike game. And I downloaded it because I was like, when it came out, I was like, that seems like a fun game. I wonder if it's going to go to Game Pass when I have time to play it. Lo and behold, like 6 months later, it's on Game Pass, and I played it. And it's fun.
It's very magical. Does anyone have anything to say about the Outer Worlds? Because it
I
looks
do not.
exactly like Fallout New Vegas, but better.
I am very excited for it. I love Obsidian. I love this type. It's got a Borderlands future dystopian
Fallout-y.
planet alien Fallout-y vibe that I love. I'm all about. So yes, I'm very excited for Outer Worlds.
And it also looks super quirky and funny, which I love as well. I love that vibe. This is probably going to be my RPG. I have the yearly RPG where I spend way too much time playing it, and I feel like the Outer Worlds is a very big contestant for my yearly RPG. Because Red Dead was last year it was Red Dead. This year it might be Outer Worlds. Who knows? Bleeding Edge, which is the kind of Overwatchy mixed with Borderlands thing that we saw, which looked interesting, but we didn't see much of it.
Okay, I'm going to say something unpopular. I'm really disappointed that this is what Ninja Theory are working on.
When they said Ninja Theory, I literally was like, oh, hell yes. And then this was what I saw. Now, I don't want to say that like it's shit or anything, but it was completely the last thing I was expecting from them. I want to try it, and I'm excited for it because I really like Hellblade. Like, I didn't think it was as amazing as everyone was saying until I actually played it and realized it was as amazing as everyone was saying.
That's on Game Pass.
And it's on Game Pass. That's how I played it.
I think that's what I'm going to play next.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's like, wow, this is like a video game?
Yeah, it's
But
great.
anyway, but yeah, to Bleeding Edge, not at all what I was expecting, not at all what I really wanted, but it is coming from them. The team seems to be very passionate and enthusiastic about it when they were talking about it in interviews. So since it's coming to Game Pass, I will definitely be trying it.
Also, we get an alpha on the 27th.
I'm excited to see more because, like I said, it was like the last thing I was expecting for them to show.
The next we have Ori, Will of the Wisps. It looks like just another Ori game. It looks really cool though. Game Pass at launch.
Nothing really new here. We kind of knew about Ori already, but it looks cool.
It looks really nice. So I still need to play the first one, which I think is on Game Pass.
It is on Game Pass.
Wow, what a wonderful deal!
I have a Game Pass group now on my homepage, and it's just games that are on Game Pass that I want to play, and I have like 12 of them.
Whatever.
Just think if I paid for all 12 of those games, how much money?
That'd be like $200. How much are you paying for Game Pass? $2 billion
I like how the second half of this
games.
show is just a blatant Games Pass advertisement.
We are not sponsored by Microsoft. This is just because we like Game Pass.
Alright, so this next game...
So the next one is Minecraft Diablo.
We were watching this, and I was sitting next to Margot, and I was like, Margot, I can't believe it. There's a Minecraft game that I want to play. Like,
It looked really cute.
I was like, holy cow, this is exactly what I want out of like a game.
It's almost like Minecraft saw that all of the Diablo people were sad and felt betrayed, and they're like, we're just gonna do that, but Minecraft.
So yeah, I will be playing this.
It's also gorgeous. Like, that game's really pretty for just
I'll have
being
to watch
blocks.
the trailer again. I haven't watched it. That was one I didn't miss. Or anyway.
Also, it's Game Pass at launch.
All right, we need to stop. This show's gonna be 3 hours long if we keep saying that.
You know what? It's gonna be worth it. So, we got more for Star Wars Fallen Empire, and it was also at EA Play, which we're not going to talk about because I wanted to die when I was watching it.
Well, what I will say about EA Play real quick is that they talked about Apex Legends Season 2, and I'm really excited for that since I'm an Apex
The new
Legends
character
player.
looks really cute.
She looks super cool, especially for like the role that she plays, or how they're like advertising the role that she would play as like basically like an ult counter. So she like counters other heroes' ultimates, which is really interesting. So I'm excited to go into that.
Also, she like claps when she puts down her things. Her Tesla coils, she like claps. It's really cute. Just speaking on EA Play real quick, EA has realized that their shit is really cringy, so they took out all the cringe, and now there's just nothing left. It was just like a shell of a show.
I mean, if what's been EA's struggle is that like they have fans that do everything. They have fans that do their one thing. And so they have all these games. Like FIFA fans are like so into FIFA, but they're only into FIFA, you know? And so it's hard for their conference, or at least this is how I've been perceiving it for the past couple of years, is that like they have to show everything for everybody, but everyone doesn't want to see everything. So then it just becomes a drag of a show. Like, I don't want to watch Sims, but people who play Sims freaking love Sims.
I think it makes sense for what they did.
So I watched my Apex, and then I was like, okay, that's all I want. Because I'm not really on the Star Wars train anymore.
Yes and no. I feel like a single-player experience is actually going to breathe a lot of life into the video game franchise, which is going to be nice, but I'm still not sold on buying Fallen Empire at launch, because I don't trust EA anymore.
I don't think I'll buy it at launch, but I do like how it looks. I think it looks and plays really well. And everything I've heard about it sounds really cool.
Did you guys play the Force Unleashed at all?
I did. I played both of them. The first one I loved a lot, and the second one should not have happened. But there was nothing really wrong with it.
Do you think that this game would be... I haven't played them, but when I see this one, I think of Force Unleashed. Do you think that's a fair sort of connection, or do you think that it's going to be very different?
Coming from your perspective, yes, it's a fair assessment, just visually looking at it and how they're playing, but everybody who's played it says it's more like, that's what it looks like, but it plays like God of War. So you're getting a less button mashy and more deliberate combat system, where they've said, like, throwing your lightsaber and stuff doesn't feel like throwing your axe, but using the Force does. In terms of, like, that's the main mechanic that's going to draw you to this game, is using your Force powers. That's really cool. That's really appealing to me. I hope it's such an interesting period, and I think it's well set. So I'm excited for it. But I'll definitely wait for it to come out and get, like, all the kind of reviews on it before I actually delve into it. That one won't be Game Pass. So you guys shut the fuck up.
I am willing to bet that it will eventually... How many Star Wars games on Game Pass, right? I'm going to look it up while we go to the next one.
I will say it may not, because of EA Play is a thing. And it doesn't make sense to put it on Game Pass. It'll be in...
All right, I'll give you that one.
The next one was a cinematic trailer for Blair Witch, which looked interesting. Game Pass at launch.
Totally caught me off guard here that this was a Blair Witch game, which seems like such a strange thing to have in 2019.
I remember hearing that it was a thing, but, like, completely forgot about it.
You're such a child. Blair Witch was a big thing when I was... Yeah, you guys are too young. You guys are too young for the phenomenon that was the Blair Witch.
I know about the movie and all that kind of stuff, but I meant that I knew that there was going to be a Blair Witch game, but forgot about it, and then was like, oh, this is the Blair Witch game. That's what I meant. I'm well aware of what Blair Witch is.
The next thing that happened during the conference, like, kind of killed me, like, in a good way. So they started going with Cyberpunk 2077. That game looks amazing. It looks so good. Yes. It was pushed to 2020, so we don't get it until April 2020, but that's okay. It looks totally really good. It looks amazing. And then Keanu Reeves showed up.
Yes! I think, unarguably, the moment of E3 for everybody was Keanu Reeves showing up.
Everyone's talking about it. Also, he was at Disneyland, like, the day before that, or Disney World, excuse me. He was over on my side of the continent, so he suddenly showed up at E3, like, the next day. I'm like, what? Keanu Reeves. Cyberpunk looks really, really good. I don't have much to say about it because they haven't... There was a little gameplay, but not much.
Yeah, they did it behind closed doors demo, which again was supposedly amazing. So I would expect them to release something because they did this last year, where they did a big behind closed demo that everyone says was amazing. And then they eventually said, oh, it was really silly of us to kind of hide this, so we won't. And they put it out. So I'm kind of hoping they'll do the same again. Other than that, I'm kind of happy we have a date. I'm happy it's well within the Xbox life cycle, Xbox One X, I mean, and not Scarlet, so that it's a Xbox One X game, this generation game, which I'm kind of happy about. I'm very looking for, I have a set date now in my head for that game because it's going to be amazing.
That's going to be really nice. And also apparently Keanu Reeves has his character has the most dialogue, or is up there with having the most dialogue, so he's actually going to be involved, which is nice.
They have said that he is a holographic kind of character that haunts the player.
That's amazing. I want to be haunted by Keanu Reeves.
That haunts? Did they use haunt?
Yeah, haunt is the word they used. To haunts the player.
Weird.
So I imagine that he is some kind of... Maybe he's an AI. Maybe he's just like an imprint of a person. Who knows? Who knows? But it sounds crazy that Keanu Reeves is going to be like the guy in your head, the voice in your head for this game.
I think Margot and I are going to watch John Wick 3 today.
I'm going to go see it on Tuesday. I'm very, very, very excited.
I want Keanu Reeves to haunt me in real life too. We have Spiritfarer, which looks really cute, but I don't think we have anything to talk about. Battletoads, very nice. Good.
Meh. No.
I'm excited.
Why, Aaron? Why are you excited?
Okay, so there's this Ninja like Ninja Turtle game that I played when I was a kid.
This is not a Ninja Turtle game.
Yeah, it's a terrible game.
It was like a 2D punch 'em, fight 'em up side scroller game. It was like Turtles in Time or something like that. And I really enjoyed it. And then I saw gameplay for Battletoads, and it's the same type of game where it's like a 2D side scroller punch 'em up game. So I'm like, sweet, I'll give it a try, because it reminded me of games. So anyway, and I just think it's a really funny like title and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's just the biggest troll when you're like, yeah, Battletoads. Anyway, that's where my sort of Discord persona comes in. If you were on their E3 Discord when I kept talking about Battletoads.
Next is Legend of Right. That was another indie game. Flight Simulator looks amazing. Game Pass on launch.
Flight Simulator did look pretty damn good. I'll give them that. I was impressed that they revived that.
Yeah, I might get that for my dad, because he's a pilot.
It looks pretty chill. I wonder if I can find my own house and then crash into it. That would be fun.
Wow.
I'd probably not, but Age of Empires 2 Definitive.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was a game I played a ridiculous amount of hours when I was younger. I don't know if I want to play it again. But at the same time, the nostalgia is very strong for that game. So it's possible I might just cave.
Well, it's on Game Pass at launch, so.
What's that?
The next is Wasteland 3, which had a pretty hilarious trailer, which I appreciated.
I thought this was terrible.
I liked the trailer, but that was about it.
I forgot this game. What was it?
It's like, what to call it? Like XCOM.
So, yeah, real-time, or turn-based strategy game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
After that, Double Fine. They announced Double Fine's joining Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
Then Psychonauts 2, which is Game Pass at launch as well. I was hoping I never played Psychonauts 1, so I'm hoping that they bring Psychonauts 1 to the Xbox at some point, the Xbox One, or Skyrim.
Well, now that they own Double Fine, that's totally possible.
Well, wait, didn't they just remaster Psychonauts 1?
Did they?
I want to say yes.
Because didn't Phil really like that game or something?
Yeah, Phil was Voodoo Vince was his thing.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
But that got remastered like 2 or 3 years ago, or even longer. That may have even been at E3.
Yeah, they made that. I think I was thinking of that. Then I guess Psychonauts 1 was not remastered.
It looks amazing though. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's not. I've never played a Double Fine game.
Either have I.
Psychonauts is on PlayStation 4.
Is it?
Is it?
Okay, I'll have to get it for PS4 then and play it.
Boo.
Unless this is wrong.
Couldn't be wrong.
Next we have Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, which I guess is all of the movies up until 7?
No, it's all of them.
Probably.
All 9.
All 9?
It's all 9, because there was an interview I read, because I played a lot of the Lego games in high school, and I was like, should I get this? And so I was reading about it, and even Aaron was talking about it before we started recording, on how you can, like, basically the whole world, or the whole universe is like a giant hub, and you can you unlock planets that you fly to, and that's how you go to the different missions for the games. So like each game has like 3 or 4 planets that you go to and you travel to as if it's like an open world, and that's how you begin the mission, and then you play these missions. They haven't developed Episode 9's content yet, because they won't tell them what it's about until the movie's released. And so basically they're trying to basically finish the game until Episode 9 comes out in Christmas, and then they have like 4 or 5 months to basically make the rest of the game or something like that, which seems kind of strange.
Yeah.
I would almost rather it just come out as like DLC that's just free, because I get it that they don't want to like leak it out. But yeah, it was a funny interview where they're like, yeah, we don't have an Episode 9, but you know, it's part of the Skywalker saga. Because they won't tell us the plot. So I might check that one out, just because for nostalgia's sake.
Because it's a Lego, and Kylo Ren made a snowman, so that's pretty cool. The next is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Trent likes these games, so he might get them. The next is 12 Minutes, which actually seemed super interesting.
Dude,
it was like
that
a time
looked
loop
really
game.
cool. Wait, is this one not first to Game Pass?
No, I don't think so.
No, I have to buy this game, is what you're saying?
We have to buy a game, or you just deleted all my shit. Why would you do that?
I didn't mean to.
God damn it, Oren.
The next one is Bambi, so that's interesting. You get to play as a deer.
That actually kind of did look interesting.
I'm going to play it because it looks adorable, but I just think it's funny because it's Bambi.
This one and Spiritfarer.
Spiritfarer was a 2D.
You were like building a ship and moving it and stuff and traveling places. It was a totally different art style. It was very different. The deer one was like you are a deer, but like your antlers.
Yeah, I remember that one. Okay, I guess I just forgot what Spiritfarer was since we glossed over that one.
The next was the Gears 5, which looked really good. Game Pass at launch.
Oh,
At
I
this
remember
point, we're
this.
just doing it to make you mad.
Yeah.
I'm off of the train. I'm exhausted.
The Gear train?
No, I'm off of the first Game Pass train.
All right, okay. Thanks, Oran.
I've tried like 5 different times to get into Gears, and I don't know if I can anymore.
I'm actually really like the look of the new one. It looks kind of cool. I'm into it. And the new mode sounds kind of badass. Like the reverse horde. Sounds
Probably
cool.
need to play 4 to understand 5, right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Maybe I'll just, because I tried 1 and 2, and I was just like, I just don't know. Maybe I should just skip all of them and go to 4.
I have no
can.
clue.
Doesn't-
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, you
Because
totally
I feel like it's a franchise I should have some level of investment in, because it's pretty big in the Xbox family, and I do really like Horde mode. Like, I played Horde on Gears 2 and like thought Horde in Gears 3 was like the bomb, but never played it. And the new mode, what was the new mode that they talked about?
Escape.
That one looked cool, I guess.
Yeah, I like the look of it.
It was like the only gameplay we had the whole show, so that was kind of nice. Actually, no, it wasn't gameplay.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
was a cinematic.
yeah, it was a cinematic.
No, well, they had gameplay after the conference. That's what it was.
Yeah.
They had like an invitational thing, but no, it was a cinematic that I think heavily mimics what the gameplay would be. Because I remember making that note. I was like, "Oh, sweet, we're gonna check out some gameplay finally," and then it wasn't, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, okay. But it's cool.
So, we got the Elite Controller 2 drop here, but we kind of already talked about that. Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about for the Elite Controller 2?
It looks really cool. I may actually get it. It's ridiculously priced, is all I'm going to say.
Oh, it's like 160,
Isn't it the
170?
same? Oh, I thought it was 150.
No, it's like €180, which is like almost the price of an Xbox One X at this stage. No, not an
It's
Xbox
like
One X, Xbox One.
175 here in the US.
So it's more expensive than the Series 1 when the Series 1 launched? Because the Series 1
Yes.
launched at what, 150?
Yeah.
150.
Alright, yeah, this says 180 US.
It's gonna drop eventually, so I'm gonna wait for a sale.
Or let's wait for Scarlet. I bet you there'll be a sale for Scarlet. Or a bundle like we talked about. Or wait, when does it come out? Does it come out this year?
Yeah, November, I think.
Yeah, November, yeah.
November 4th. I'll wait till next year. I'll just dump a shit ton of money when Scarlet comes out and start saving now.
Yep.
That's just what I'll
Yep,
have to
yep,
do. Set aside like $700.
So much money.
Also, don't forget to set aside extra money for Game Pass.
Well, I already have it paid through until January 2021, so I don't need to set aside it.
That's about what I got mine too, 2021.
But if this new console comes out in, November of 2020, so I only have Game Pass for 3 months, and then I have to renew.
So the next thing we got was Dying Light 2. I never played Dying Light 1, but it's basically Mirror's Edge meets zombies.
This is a pass for me.
Yeah, me too.
Dying Light, look, my brother loves it. I didn't bother with it.
I'm so done with zombies right now.
That's kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah, I played, and this kind of goes into what we were talking about next. State of Decay. When State of Decay 2 came out, I played that because it was on Game Pass, and like I liked it, but then I just got tired of it kind of quickly because it's just like, I'm just fighting zombies.
Yeah.
Can I do something else?
I'm done
No,
with zombies.
just fight more
at this
zombies.
point.
You can only fight zombies.
The next we have is Forza Horizon 4 Lego Pack.
Very surprised by this. It's pretty cool. Someone called this, was it Aaron? I think Aaron maybe called this in a show. I think he was just messing, but fair play. It looks kind of cool,
I mean, they did the Hot Wheels racing one for Horizon 3.
which was amazing looking.
When they said this, I was like, oh wow, Lego. I guess we have also the Lego Star Wars game. I guess Xbox has some good some Lego relationships.
Yeah, well, the Lego thing, that's not exclusive to Xbox, right?
No, but like not that it's exclusive, but just that they have like deals and stuff where like it's on the show floor. Like, hey, we'll unveil your biggest Lego game yet, the Star Wars Saga, at E3 on our stage. Then we have Forza Horizon Lego Pack and all that. Like, there was one Lego game, I think there was like Lego Harry Potter. They had like a full collection game because way back when they would separate everything. So like the Lego Harry Potter games was actually 2 separate games because they broke up the years. And then there's like a Lego Harry Potter everything, like the full all years, but it only came out, I think, on PC and PlayStation. I was like, what?
I want to play my Lego games.
Then I grew out of Legos.
Nobody grows out of Legos.
Well, yeah, because I might get this new Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just wait till it comes to Game Pass.
Yeah. Does anyone care about Gears Pops?
No, it looks terrible. I can't believe it's a thing, but whatever.
Okay. Does anybody care about State of Decay 2, the DLC?
I don't, but I like that they're still supporting it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't remember what Crossfire X is at all.
It's Crossfire X is a Chinese or Korean-made game that's ginormous in China. It's an FPS. It's pretty much, my brother described it as a Counter-Strike ripoff.
Oh, okay.
It was a weird reveal in how they did it. They seemed really hyped that they got this. So maybe it is a big deal because for Xbox in the Chinese market or the Asian market, this is probably a big get. It's not a type of game I'm going to be into.
And the next one is another Japanese title, Tales of Arise, which is from the Tales series.
This really caught my eye. I've only really played one Tales game, Tales of Symphonia. It was on a GameCube. It was amazing. I loved it. This game caught my eye. It looks really, really cool. I really like the look of this game.
You gotta explain to me, are all the games connected, or can I just jump in on any game?
Nope, like a Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Not connected at all. Totally just jump in and play.
Okay, so I might jump in on that because I need some more weeb shit in my life.
Typically, they've had like an art style that would like link them together, but this new one is totally different. It doesn't look like anything I've seen before.
The next one is Borderlands 3, which we know everything about anyway.
Give me all the lands of borders. I want them.
I like how Lilith is going to be kind of your guide through this game, it looks like, which is nice.
Lilith's my girl.
I know, I love her. She don't have her siren powers no more, but I love her.
Yeah, I can't wait to play the DLC. I've downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet because I have a new Borderlands friend incoming. Aaron's going to play Borderlands with me because Krysta sucks and won't play Borderlands with me. Because she likes her boyfriend more than me. Whatever, no big.
I have to live with him.
I might play some Borderlands.
Oran, I love it. Let's do this.
Did you play the other ones? Because I haven't played the other ones.
All my friends.
One of my other friends was saying that he wants to play it because it's the Handsome Collections now. I'm not trying not to do it on purpose now, but like
it's on Game Pass,
it's on Game Pass now, I kind of want to play it.
I think that's fine.
But is it 4-player co-op?
Yes, it is. It's amazing. And there's so many good things to it that the whole world should play and play Borderlands. It's an awesome game.
Oh, okay.
This next one had barely anything, but I'm still super hyped about it. It is the new George R.R. Martin game.
Yeah, very random.
Elden Ring.
We're talking Dark Souls-y,
Lord of the Rings-y, Game of Thrones-y.
Almost Elder Scrolls, maybe not as open world. I got some Oblivion vibes.
Oh god. Have you heard of the High Elves?
Yeah, my brother is hyped for this game, but disappointed that he got to see nothing of it. So it just doesn't really exist yet. It's just a thing that they're talking about right now. No, I don't think there's nothing.
Right, next gen.
Teaser.
It's gonna definitely be Scarlet then.
Do we need to talk about xCloud?
xCloud looks really cool, and I'm totally hyped because I just got a new phone, so I'm sure it will actually work with xCloud. Very, very excited.
If the listeners out there want to learn more about Project xCloud, listen to the Giant Bomb interview with Phil Spencer. Because they devote, like, no joke, like 20 to 30 minutes, almost half the episode, talking about xCloud and kind of what the capabilities are, the goals, and kind of how it can be implemented and all that kind of stuff. And it was very insightful.
So that was Xbox. These next ones are going to be pretty easy to go through. Ubisoft, do we want to talk about anything other than Watch Dogs on the Ubisoft side?
Do we want to talk about Watch Dogs?
I think
you
that looks awesome.
You get to play as a grandma.
I think it looks cool. Watch Dogs is a series I've loved. Well, I've liked a lot simply because it's connected to the Assassin's Creed universe.
I have never played a Watch Dogs game.
They're okay. They're okay games. The second one was pretty cool in terms of its open worldness, and San Francisco was kind of cool, and it did some cool things. I think this game looks really good. The dystopian nature of it. It's got all neon London dystopian vibe. It's cool.
I just think any NPC you can turn into a playable character is really interesting.
Yeah, it is, and I'm kind of intrigued to see how that turns out. The only other thing that they had a bunch of random stuff. Their Roller Champions game. I like that they're trying new things. That looks like it might be cool to watch. I'm not really interested in playing. Division 2 is a game I have, but I'm trying to get into it. I haven't played too much of it, so new stuff for that is happening constantly, so I have no idea really what's going on in that game. But people seem pretty hype about that. There was the Uplay has a subscription service, and it's kind of for PC only at the moment, but it's what you expect. Pay Ubisoft money for their games. They ended their things with like a teaser for a thing called Gods on Monsters, which kind of had Breath of the Wild kind of vibe. So I'm really intrigued by that.
Also, they had the weird Office show that was like a game studio which I was like,
Yes.
I don't know why this is at E3, but that also looks kind of funny because I'd love to see Office but at a game studio.
Yes, that's pretty much the vibe I got off it as well, and it's made by like some of the people that do Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, I love that. Danny DeVito's not going to be in it though.
No, that's crazy talk, Krysta.
I love Danny DeVito. I was so surprised there was nothing Assassin's Creed at Ubisoft.
I am not surprised at all.
I'm glad. A new one every year is a bit much.
They're saving it for that next gen.
They did have a thing that they announced before their conference, which is like you can make your own story mode in Odyssey now. So like you can pretty much have like a mission editor and make it. So like loads of people are doing that now. Don't know how it plays. It's an interesting idea. I've seen it at the moment.
Okay, now to Bethesda. Bethesda will be super short. They talked about Fallout 76, and they also made it free for a week, so I actually downloaded it and played it for a little bit, and it's not horrible.
Okay.
It feels very much like a Fallout game, but there are other players, and the players are all really nice. None of them tried to murder me.
That side of it has been interesting of the story. I think it's hilarious that they're now putting NPCs into the game.
I like how they made, like, it was a thing at the press conference. It was like, there are gonna be NPCs, and people are like, wow!
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah, that is actually pretty.
Deathloop, which is another time loop thing, which is weird. It's weird that that's kind of a thing right now.
Wasn't Deathloop? Oh, wait, that is Bethesda. Okay.
It is Bethesda.
I thought that was Ubisoft at first.
Nope.
No, yeah, that trailer, like, Deathloop's the perfect example of a game trailer where I want to see gameplay. It looks interesting and all this other kind of stuff. It visually looks great, but I have no idea what the game, like, really is about.
I think it's a 1v1, and it's like you constantly revive each other.
Oh, so it's not even a story game?
No, I don't think so. I've heard it being called as a online competitive thing.
Oh, I don't like that then. I don't like that at all.
I could be wrong, but that's what I thought they said it was.
Well, anyway, my biggest excitement for Bethesda was this Ghostwire Tokyo trailer.
100%.
Oh my god, that girl was so cute.
Yeah, I'm all
if
about it.
If there's one thing to see at this show, it's this game. Like that, I don't know. This might be the game I buy that isn't on Game Pass.
Ooh.
My 2 purchases a year. Like everything else, I want to see gameplay and what it's all about, but it has my attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like spooky games.
Spooky games, eh?
Yeah, very spooky.
Doom Eternal looked lit as fuck. It looked really cool.
Yes, it did.
I haven't played the first Doom that came in this series, but it's on Game Pass.
Oh my god. Krysta, it's amazing.
If you have a loud stereo, it's great.
I have Astros, so I can crank up my Astros.
Crank up your Astros,
Crank up
Krysta,
your Astros and turn your TV to 4K, and it'll be great.
It's always 4K, my friend. It's always 4K.
Well, there you go.
And then they announced more Wolfenstein stuff. Is Wolfenstein now an annualized franchise at this point?
No.
I thought that was like a DLC thing, or is it
was
like
the
like a Halo ODST type of a thing?
That's how it kind of got announced, so you wouldn't be wrong for thinking that, but it's actually a full game.
Oh, I like the ladies.
There's 2 of them.
There's 2 of them. It's a co-op game.
They better kiss.
They're sisters. They're sisters, Krysta.
God damn it.
I didn't know they were sisters. They
say
didn't
it
look
in the
like
trailer.
sisters. I wasn't paying attention to the words.
I
I was paying attention to the ladies.
God damn it, Krysta. Pay attention.
Alright, I didn't watch Nintendo, so...
Okay, well...
I did.
All I know is that Banjo-Kazooie's coming to Smash.
Oh my god, yes. So does anyone care about Nintendo other than me? Am I gonna have to go through this myself?
I will say that I was a big fan of Link's Awakening as a high school student.
Oh, yeah?
I saw when Link's Awakening was announced, was it last year, E3, or a Nintendo Direct or something, once upon a time ago? I was like, huh, cool, okay, but I don't think I'll buy a Switch until a new Paper Mario is announced.
Paper Mario.
Dude, there's so much shit to play on the Switch. Like, it's great.
I just don't... I have enough games to play on Xbox Game Pass.
I was actually really disappointed that they didn't talk about Bayonetta 3. Like, I was really upset, because I finished Bayonetta 1 like a week ago, and I'm almost done with Bayonetta 2. I was very disappointed, because those games are actually a lot of fun. They're pretty great. We have some new Smash heroes. The big one is Banjo-Kazooie, but some of the Dragon Quest guys are going to be in there. A new Dragon Quest, or is it just a remastered Dragon Quest? Was announced. I think it's remastered.
I think so. It's got a big, crazy-ass title.
Yeah. Dragon Quest 11?
Yeah, Dragon Quest 11, something S editions, Deluxe S or something like that.
Okay, is Dragon Quest another one where it's like Final Fantasy and it's not a continuous story? Okay.
Oh, well, I think it has more of a story to it that links between the games than Final Fantasy does. I think
Okay.
it's all set in the same world, and I think there's like you're this reborn thing, like Messiah every time or something. I think the world is the same where all the games take place in, as opposed to Final Fantasy where they kind of rewrite the script from scratch every time.
Which, while we're talking about Final Fantasy, because I don't think I have it anywhere in the script, the remaster of Final Fantasy VII looks amazing.
We missed out on the Square Conference. The Square Conference was pretty cool. That actually does look damn freaking good.
It looks really cool. I mean, there wasn't much else in the Square Conference other than like Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff that I really cared about.
There's the Avengers game.
Oh, yeah.
That everyone apparently is, like, pissed off about it. Like, I was reading online,
'cause
like,
it's a
everyone hates,
Destiny
like, how
game.
it looks, and I'm just like, guys, relax. It's not in-game.
No, it's not going to be.
Yeah, that's just the kind of that have to suffer with that, unfortunately.
I don't know how I feel about the Avengers game, because they were talking about it where it's like, this is something that will evolve, we're going to continually add more
I don't like that. I want more Spider-Man.
That's what people wanted. They wanted the Spider-Man version of Avengers, but what they're getting is a more Destiny version of Avengers, where it's supposed to be a game of service. That's the really big downer for me on this.
I want a single-player experience. I'm so done with game companies trying to, like, shoehorn multiplayer stuff into games.
Yeah.
Well, they just, like, game developers, it seems that they're really being pushed by some factor, whether it's themselves or the publisher or what, or just the tide of the gaming culture. It's just that you have to have a game that people play for months and months and months, and it seems that the only way to do it is to, like, drip feed content to angry fan base every month. And, like, even, like,
I
with
hate
Apex, like people are, like, bitching and moaning of, like, oh my gosh, there's no content, why would I play all this other kind of shit? I want to go back to Fortnite because they know how to do their thing. It's like, dude, like, you either play Apex because you have fun playing Apex, or you don't play Apex because you don't have fun playing it. Like, I stopped playing Destiny because I didn't really get any enjoyment out of it. But they continually add more content and all this other kind of stuff. So if you like it and you want this new content, it's, like, there for you. But I got everything out of it, so I'm not going to play it anymore. People are, it's just so frustrating that, like, part of the problem is the player base, and it's making it harder for developers, and it's not healthy. and end rant.
It's really annoying. I honestly like single-player experiences. Those are some of the best memories I have gaming are single-player experiences, so that's what I look for. Like, I don't mind a multiplayer, but
I just don't know how to feel about this Avengers game, because it's giving me all the flags of things I don't want.
Yeah, same.
But it potentially could be, like, really, really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of we just gotta wait and see, and trying to judge it too harshly. But just what I've heard about it turns me off it.
yeah.
Really, to be honest.
Back to Nintendo. Luigi's Mansion 3, which looks really cool.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about it, but I played the first one and liked it, so I hope the third one is fun.
You get to be Gooigi.
Who's Gooigi?
Just a goo version of Luigi.
Oh.
Picture is Slimer, but Luigi.
Oh,
Okay. That's what you got.
But you can also play multiplayer with Gooigi as well. So you can either control them individually and go back and forth, or you can have someone else control him.
Is Gooigi coming to Smash?
I think he's a skin for Luigi now, or he's going to be.
That's pretty cool. Let me look at this trailer.
Smash. Link's Awakening we kind of already touched on. It looks so adorable. It looks really cute. I usually don't go for the... Like, there's Legend of Zeldas that are big, like Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild, and then there are the small ones, like not Treasure Tracker. God, what is it called? Like Four Seasons and, like, Link's Awakening, the smaller ones.
Oracle something.
Oracle of Seasons.
Oracle of Seasons, yeah.
An Oracle of
Yeah.
Ages.
I usually go for the bigger ones, but I might try out this one.
Link's Awakening is a fun game, like on the Game Boy Advance, I think is what I played it for, Game Boy Color. Yeah, it's just like a fun top-down Zelda game, and you just go into the different dungeons and you get all your classic Zelda items and stuff, and it's a very well thought out, like, map, and so like the way you progress across it all and the way you backtrack to do, like, side quests and stuff was always really engaging for me when I was in high school. If I get a Switch, that'll be one of the first games I buy, just because of nostalgia, really, but it's a solid game.
The next is Trials of Mana. I don't know.
It's a mana game. They kind of did a couple of mana announcements here, kind of. So it's just a JRPG.
The Witcher 3 is coming to Switch.
Yay for Witcher 3 people.
I'm wondering how it's going to run on the Switch.
And they've said it's one cart, so I'm sure it's been downsized, downgraded, all sorts of down in order to get it to play.
That game has a lot of detail in it.
Yeah.
The next is Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Nope.
Okay. Next is Resident Evil 5 and 6 that are coming out. I thought the announcement of this was funny because they're like, we're gonna put them in a spooky place to play the spooky game. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was. No More Heroes 3. Apparently No More Heroes is a thing and people really like it and they're really excited for it, which makes me feel left out, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
I've heard of it, but I know nothing about it.
Looks like an action game.
It looks like a motion control game.
I don't want a motion.
It looked like a whole bunch of quick time events and stuff.
The next is like just a classic Contra collection. So that's fun if you're really into Contra.
Yeah.
The next is Daemon Machina. Is that the one where they were like connected to the things with chains? No, that was Astral Chain.
That's Astral Chain. That looks kind of cool.
Astral Chain looks really cool. That one's really interesting. Panzer Dragon, you get to be a dragon. Pokemon Sword and Shield, where Machop can run you down in an open field and beat the living shit out of you. I'm so excited.
Wow.
They were doing a demo right after this, and it was literally the trainer like running away from a Machop as he was coming towards him in the wild zone. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, Empire of Sin.
What's Empire of Sin?
I don't remember.
Okay, not important.
Marvel Unlimited Ultimate Alliance, which is a fighting game. Cadence of Hyrule, I don't remember what that is.
Oh, that's like a rhythm-based game.
Oh.
It's like a weird dungeon crawler mashed with rhythm style combat and stuff. People love it, and now they're mashing it with Zelda, and people love it even more.
Oh, that's cute.
It's cool if you're into that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great art style. It can be appreciated.
The next is Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. The Olympic Games in 2020 is going to be in Japan, so it works.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I've never played those games. I'm not interested in them at all.
Nope.
I think I played one of them on the Wii.
It's just mini games though, right? It's
like Wii Sports, but for Olympics. And it's with Mario and Sonic theme. It's Mario Party, real life edition.
Yeah, I'd rather just play Mario Party at that point, because I love Mario Party, because people get really angry when you steal their stars. The next made me so very happy, but so very sad. Animal Crossing New Horizons, which got delayed to March 2020, which made me very sad, because I was hoping it would come out this year, but I have to wait, because I love Animal Crossing. It's adorable. This made me really happy. Spyro is finally coming to Switch. I thought Spyro would be a pretty fantastic game to kind of bring with me around, so I've been kind of waiting to get the Spyro collection.
I have played it, finished it, and 100%ed it. It's beautiful. I love it.
Is that the Spyro remaster?
Yeah.
Reignited, I think it's the way they call it, Reignited Edition.
How hard is it to 100%? Is it worth it?
Not very hard. It's totally doable. It just takes a little bit of time.
It's like 3 games in one, I imagine. So
Yeah,
it is. There's some serious grinding. Yeah. Well, no, there isn't. Real. I'm being kind of down on it. It's not. It's pretty cool.
I'm still trying to debate whether to get the double pack for my Xbox or just get Spyro for Switch. That is an ever-going battle. The next thing that happened was Banjo-Kazooie got announced for Smash, which is kind of amazing and beautiful, and I'm very excited because we bought the character, season pass thing for Smash, so we get all the characters.
Cool.
And then something very unexpected happened. I was not expecting this at
Krysta
all.
Brown?
The Breath of the Wild sequel.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Oh my god.
Did they show anything?
No, just a trailer.
But it looked like more of a horror vibe to it.
Yes. I got the sense that it's kind of like building on the map of the first game. That
Yes.
it is kind of like something is coming and taking over, and you're getting kind of like retaking areas and cleansing them of whatever this crazy ass plague is kind of infecting the world.
Also, people are thinking it's either going to be it's either going to be multiplayer or co-op, or you're going to be able to play as Zelda, because she was with Link the entire time in the trailer.
That's just crazy.
I would like it. I would be very happy, but that does seem kind of like a long shot, but it looks like she might be more involved than in other Zelda games where she's literally trapped somewhere, which would be nice. We want Zelda more involved.
More Zelda, please.
Also, just more Breath of the Wild because, oh my god, that game.
Never got into it, really.
Oh, I love it. I loved it very, very much.
Okay.
I feel like Nintendo was the one that kind of killed E3. Like, I feel like Microsoft's definitely a second, but I feel like Nintendo had more.
You think?
Oh, killed it? You mean like won?
Yeah, like did a good job.
Oh, I thought you meant like ended the momentum.
Yeah,
I was like, pretty sure Bethesda did.
Oh yeah, Bethesda and Ubisoft were just kind of meh for me. But what did you guys think of the Sony conference?
I'm sad that it wasn't there.
I was really upset. Like, I was, like, it
Really?
ruined my whole, like, E3 flow, where it's like, man, I'm gonna watch the Microsoft one, and then maybe Bethesda, Ubisoft, and then Sony's gonna come on, and then Nintendo.
I usually get frustrated with Sony because it's just jealousy most times, but not having them this year just felt weird because it was just like
It did.
Like, why aren't they showing anything? Like, because I want to know what's the big talk about PlayStation 5 and whatnot.
Well, and Death Stranding's coming out this year, and Last of Us 2 is supposed to be coming out at some point.
I thought that was next year.
Yeah.
I don't have a PlayStation. I just want to know what they're up to business wise, and to see cool games like God of War and
God of War was so good. Yeah, it's just weird to not have them there, especially since Microsoft announced Microsoft put their dick on the table with the Scarlet announcement.
Well, Sony talked about their specs a little bit for the PlayStation 5.
But it's not really the same as the head of the studio going on stage and talking about it.
True. But I think PlayStation will have their own little thing in like Paris or something this year or next.
PSX, they probably will.
A couple months ago, they tried to do something like a Nintendo Direct.
They did. They haven't announced it yet, but they could do it. There's Paris Games Week.
Big PlayStation 5 reveal planned for PSX 2019 game rant. Let's look at this clickbait article. 7 months ago. That's not right.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Who knows? It was just a weird E3 without, like, Sony and Microsoft kind of, like, butting heads with their conferences. And it's also, like, it's pretty evident that this is a transitional E3. It's, like, the dead year before the new consoles come out.
That's true. Next E3 is going to be insane. Could you imagine Sony are back?
Oh, they have to be. I mean, if it's going to be a console year, they have to do something. They can't just sit on their hands like they did this year.
Agreed.
Yeah, overall it was a transitional E3, which I think we kind of knew coming in, but it was still just kind of like, oh, I wish I saw this or that or whatever. You know, we have on years and we have off years, so.
True.
I would just say it was just good.
It was good, yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint was lack of just general gameplay from most games. Like, I think Doom Eternal had the best show. If I were to give a Best of Show award, I'd give it to Doom Eternal because they had a fancy trailer, they talked about it, they had a gameplay trailer, then they had like a scissor reel or whatever, and it was just a bunch of info, a lot of different parts of the game that you saw, and I was just like, yes, that's what I want from not every game, because you can't do that from every game, but if like every like 5 games or something that are shown at a conference should have one that is on that caliber.
Yeah, that goes into depth.
Yeah.
You gotta go into depth with the big releases. You have to do something more than just a basic trailer.
But anyway, it wasn't terrible. There have been worse E3s.
Oh yeah.
It was just a general middle ground good E3.
I would agree with that. David?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Pretty much. I'm bummed that like the biggest moment of E3 for me wasn't Halo.
It's Keanu Reeves.
Because that's what I expected going in. It was Keanu Reeves. It was the amazingness of Keanu Reeves. And to be fair, Final Fantasy 7. And a very kind of small note, Final Fantasy 8 has been like my favorite Final Fantasy. It was my first one. And the fact that's been like the missing link in all these games, it's never been remastered, never been ported. There's been loads of issues because of the music licensing that was in that game. And now they've figured it out and it's coming to everything. I can't fucking wait to play Final Fantasy 8 on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. I'm very hyped for that.
So 8's coming to Xbox, but 7 isn't?
Well, the 7 port is on Xbox right now. So all Final Fantasy games are all on Xbox. You can play Final Fantasy 7, soon 8, you can play 9, 10 and 10-2, 13 onwards, 14, 15. Oh, they're all on Xbox. What you can't play yet is the remaster which is quote unquote coming first to PlayStation. That's the way they've announced it and talked about it. So people are saying it's probably PC, but I imagine Sony will get that for a good few years. Who knows if that'll even come to Xbox, but I'm mildly somewhat hopeful of that, but we'll see.
Sounds good.
Right.
Anything else we got to talk about?
So many. No, that's it. I think we've talked a lot.
I have nothing more to say.
So I'm going to go through our patrons real quick because I forgot to do it at the top of the show. So if you patrons are still here, you're lovely and I love you. Adam, Alex, Colton, Elverga, Gonk, Jams, Lance, Matt, Matthew, Oren, Philip, Ryan, Spencer, and Zach.
No, I'm
Thank
not
you
a
very
patron.
much. I love you.
Yeah, Oran, you're not a patron.
No,
What the hell?
I just follow ourselves.
Oren, why are you giving us money? We don't need your money.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Thank everybody else.
Thank you, guys.
But yes, thank you guys so much for our patrons and for all that you guys do for us. It means a lot, and it helps us think about and do better things for you and the rest of our listener base.
And if you're not a patron, go check out our patron page because it's pretty cool. And we got some new things. We kind of rejigged a few things because Squarespace kind of upped their game a little bit. So our goal has kind of slightly changed. So it's been pretty cool. So go check it out.
Yep.
I think that's about it. So happy E3 2019. I hope whatever you were waiting for got announced, or if it doesn't, I hope it gets announced next year. This has been Podcast Evolved, speaking E3, some Halo, mostly not, but get Game Pass. I love you. Evolve.
Evolve!
I knew that was going to be a big one.